What's up guys, Magic Knives here, and today I'm bringing to you a review on the Tanaka Colt Python Airsoft Revolver. This is, in my opinion, one of the best Airsoft revolvers out there that is practical for Airsoft. Now, before I used to say that for Tokyo Marui, which I used for a few years, but I will do kind of some comparisons between that one and this one. This is the 6-inch version, silver, as you can see. It's got a nice stainless steel finish to it. About a little more than half of these parts are plastic. It has a very deceiving look to be all metal, but unfortunately most of it's plastic. The barrel's plastic, the body's plastic, the trigger guard's plastic. The parts that are metal though are the hammer, the cylinder, and the trigger itself. And also, with the original grips that this comes with, there are some metal plates inside of the grip. It actually comes, it originally comes with fake wooden grips, but I switched those out because I didn't really like the feel or the comfort of it or the look of it. So this is a Hogue rubber grip that you can get that works, and that's the nice thing about Tanaka revolvers. You can actually swap them out for real steel revolver grips. So I like it because it's rubber, so it's nice and soft. It has the finger grooves here, so it's nice and comfortable in the hands when I'm aiming with this. That said, I did have to modify this a little bit in order to fit this on here, and it's still not quite perfect yet. But I'm gonna make a video on how to do a little modification to how to properly fit this on this revolver. Now, the big keys here about this revolver compared to other revolvers is that first thing is that this is a green gas revolver. Most revolvers are CO2, so they're often too powerful, or just not, in my opinion, not as practical. Because for me, I prefer being able to top off my sidearm, or in this case my green gas revolver, in between games, in case I've shot a few times and I want to have a maximum capacity of gas before I go out to a game. With CO2 revolvers, you can't really do that unless you have those special adapters. You just can't really, you might be left with only half a tank, a quarter tank, who knows, right? So that's why, and for one too, most CO2 revolvers are just way too powerful. So you're getting two benefits out of this for it to be a green gas revolver, is that you don't have to worry about it being overpowered, and two is you can top off the revolver in between games whenever you need to, or whenever you feel like. Now, with this being the 6-inch version and on green gas, you're looking at about what the highest numbers that I got was actually 330 feet per second, which is actually very impressive for this revolver. The Tokyo Marui only shot maybe like 270 feet per second. Maybe on good days be 300, but I mean, oddly, for some reason there was a day that I got only about 260 feet per second for one shot, 280. It kind of fluctuated. It might just be due to the temperature difference that I was chronoing at. I chronoed it at a Airsoft store once, and then another time on the field recently, but totally different numbers. So I don't know what's up with that, honestly, but you'll be fine as far as the FPS goes with this. Another thing about the metal plates that it comes with originally, if you just keep it with the normal grip with the metal plates, all of this will be about 2 pounds, which is pretty impressive, pretty hefty. But once you take if you do decide to switch the grip out, it will be lighter. So this is now about 1.6 pounds, which is light, but it's not too toyish like the Tokyo Marui was. Now the gas is actually held in the cylinder compared to in the grip, like most revolvers are. So what's weird about this is the shells are fake, okay? And you actually have to align, there's a hole here which says gas. You have to align it to the fill valve, which is right there, okay? And essentially, this revolver actually comes with an adapter. As you can see here, I've modified this adapter a bit, which I'll go to which I'll explain in just a second. But essentially, you fill the gas into the cylinder, and that's why the cylinder is metal, because it has to hold the gas. But you just shake this up. You just shake your gas can up, and the reason why you need the adapter is because without it, the grip's in the way. You wouldn't want to do it sideways because it'd probably damage it. So this is how you fill this up. You just fill it up like this, and you can get, I would say about 5 or 6 seconds is what you're looking for to get maximum amount of gas efficiency out of this revolver before you have to like refill it. Now, with a full tank of gas, once you fully filled this up enough, I was able to get 105 shots with this, which is pretty impressive. With the Tokyo Marui, is only 85, but with this being a green gas revolver, this could shoot 105 shots, which is really impressive. Hopefully you never have to shoot that many in a game, unless you're doing like a pistol only game, but it's amazing nonetheless. So the weird thing too, so now with the adapter, the modification that I made is I got 3mm plastic tubing, and I just cut it to about, I'd say it's 2 inches, and I just fit it over this adapter, and I leave a bit sticking out, so that way I can fit this over the green gas can nozzle. Once I fit it over there, I can just push this down all the way, and that way I can just hold this upside down and shake it and fill it up and fill the revolver up without having to worry about losing this. Now I would still actually put my pinky here just so that this does, because this will still come loose when you're filling it, unfortunately, but it's not that big of a deal. And as long as as long as you have the O-ring still for the fill valve, then it won't freeze your hand up. And that's the other thing I want to quickly mention is the O-ring for this fill valve. I did lose mine, so I had to get some size 2 O-rings to replace it with. This is you won't gonna see it, but it's by Vitin. But make sure you have the O-ring, because without it, when you're filling it up, you're gonna waste a lot of gas trying to fill this thing up to max capacity. So make sure you have that O-ring in there, so you can fill this up quickly without having to have just a spew of gas coming. This gun does have hop up. It's fixed though, just like the Tokyo Marui. So you want to make sure, like I was using .2s. You could use .25s, I think, to make the flight path a bit better for the BBs. With .2s, I found after about 70 or 80 feet, it would just start ballooning up like this, curving upwards, or sometimes it just wouldn't. I mean, it would go fly straight, but it wasn't like precisely accurate like the Tokyo Marui was. The Tokyo Marui was pretty accurate for what it was. This will not be as accurate, but it definitely is much more powerful than the Tokyo Marui. Now, similar to the Tokyo Marui, this holds more BBs than most airsoft revolvers. This holds 14 BBs. The Tokyo Marui holds 24, so it's not as much as the Tokyo Marui, but this holds up to 14 shots. Now, it does vary, unfortunately, due to the system, unfortunately. And this is called the Pegasus system. I'm going to explain this to you now. You load the BBs at the front, essentially, because right here is where you want to load your BBs. This chamber, there's a little chamber that goes down, and it holds 8 BBs. And now, what you do is, when you're going to reload this, you will need to practice this, obviously. But you want to open it up like this, line it up like so. Then you're going to take your speed loader. I'm doing this at a bad angle, but essentially you're going to take your speed loader. You're going to pump 2 times to fill hopefully 8. And then I use my middle finger for this, as I'm holding it, like as I'm holding a revolver, like so. And I just rotate the cylinder, and you'll see it starts to load the chambers up as you spin it around. And once you get all the chambers loaded, I'm doing this slow obviously, but the better you get, you'll be able to do this fast. you line this up once more, the top right corner, and you just pump 2 more times. And well, sometimes it'll be 1, sometimes it'll be 2. But once you do that, you do it twice just to be safe, and that's how you maximize your ability to load this with either 12 or 14 BBs. And I say that because depending on how lucky you get with the loading the chamber up, sometimes you get 12, sometimes you get 14. That's unfortunately the downside with this Pegasus system. But other than that, you're already getting double the amount of rounds compared to a normal airsoft revolver, which in my opinion is much more practical than carrying only a 6-shot revolver with shells. With shells, you'd have to carry extra shell pouches on you, extra shells in general. You have to do a lot of reloading. This, you don't have to worry about carrying any of that or losing any shells. You just have to carry a speed loader on you so that you can just have infinite amount of ammo to load this with. Now, one downside to this revolver is that it does not have a safety, and there's no safe way to unload this gun, which is a problem, especially if you're at a field where they require you to unload your gun before leaving the field and going to a staging area. You need to, the Tokyo Marui allowed you to essentially push out the BBs in the cylinder so you can collect them and save them for later. If you don't want to waste gas, this is the safest way I found to unload this. So essentially, you want to make sure you have a glove on, because if you can, just use a barrel cover or just some little pouch that you can kind of collect the BBs in. But I just kind of use my glove because it's fairly padded. Make sure you use a glove if you're going to be doing this. So you half cock the revolver. Once you half cock it, you're going to line the barrel up with your first finger like this, and then you're just going to let go of the hammer, and you're just going to try to get the gas released a little bit, so that way it releases the BB out through the barrel like that. And you're going to do this multiple times so you can get all of the all the BBs out essentially. And when you do this, you don't lose really that much gas at all. I tried this one time and I really just ended up having the same amount of shots. I still ended up having 105 shots before I had to refill the revolver. You can see, once you do this, make sure all the chambers are empty. As you can see, in my hand, I've got all of the BBs as well. They will be a little bit dirty, just because you're kind of sending it through the revolver and the hop up. But other than that, I think you can still use these pretty fairly without any issues. As you can see, it's got a traditional front and rear sight. What I like though is that the front sight is red at the top here, which is mimicking to the real thing. The rear sight is adjustable. This is a double action revolver, so you have 2 ways of firing this. You can simply just pull the trigger and it'll shoot. And what's nice is that if you have the conditions right, you can actually get some nice clouds of gas coming out of the revolver, which is pretty sick. Pretty nice special effect there. The trigger pull is not too heavy. It is long though, so you can shoot fast with this, but you're not going to get very accurate shots compared to shooting in single action. That's the other way you can fire this. You can take your thumb, pull back on the hammer like this, and you can shoot the revolver as well. Obviously, you're not going to be able to shoot as fast compared to double action, but if you're trying to hit that small target, you can do so by single action. So overall, in the end, I would say this is one of the most practical airsoft revolvers out there that is green gas powered, that has hop up. It's not going to be as accurate as the Tokyo Marui one, but in terms of how it's built, I think it's more durable, and it's going to be a little bit more practical and reliable compared to other revolvers out there, and you can actually use this in a CQB environment without having to worry about FPS and things like that, and at the same time not having to worry about shells, not having to worry about like topping the revolver off in between games, and none of that stuff. And you're getting double the amount of shots compared to a normal revolver. So with that said, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Hopefully I'll see you guys in my future videos, and until next time, peace out.